This match gonna be against Jedi against Frozen Yeti. Jedi is my clanmate in the Fountain of Manor. And I know they've played recently on ladder, and I'm sure they've played quite often on ladder in the past as well. Yeti is definitely someone who grinds a lot on ladder. So they've seen each other before. And yeah, I think we'll be starting soon. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, Yeti's actually in here already. So yeah, here I can I'll show a little player card after the first match, I guess. We'll just jump right into the first match to start with and hopefully get a good game going. And bottom left, we got my clanmate Jedi, the Grey Orc. And top right, we got the blue elf, Frozenyeti. Now, I've watched a couple of Frozenyeti's replays, and from what I saw, he seems to like playing Keeper against Orc. He also is big on not actually blocking his wisps off, and he tends to clump them up. Like, you might see like 3 here, and then like a couple here or something. So I may have advised Jedi that wisps are exploitable. And then Jedi on the other side, he's going Headhunter build, which I think Yeti's aware of, that he tends to do so. And I'm thinking we will probably see a Farseer on this map. He will likely, yep, here's the Farseer, and here's the Keeper. So he will likely be coming across here through the middle. And I think his goal is to catch the Keeper as he comes to the Murlocs and prevent level 2. Because preventing level 2 on the Keeper is pretty huge in allowing the Orc to harass a lot without having to worry about entangle focus. One of the main ways the Elf can create space is once they have maybe around 3 archers, possibly treants on the ground, you get an entangle focus on the hero. You just focus it down a bit, and once the hero on the Orc side drops a couple hundred health, it's much easier to have the space needed where the Orc is going to back off and use a heal salve. So here we got Jedi summoning wolves right away, and he is going to indeed come straight across to harass. Yeti gets a claws +6. That's definitely pretty nice early. And he's setting up. Okay, so I was just doing the wisp to get the 21 food mark, so we can tech a little bit faster. And Jedi's going for the High Priest, which I think I actually advised him to do that as well. When we were watching a replay, we noticed he can actually creep this and still make it in time to the Murlocs to prevent level 2. Yeti does actually pull the Murlocs though, which is pretty nice, but does not get any creeps from it, and level 2 is successfully prevented. So very nice for the Orc so far. However, his wolf did get ensnared, which makes his harass a little less impactful. However, preventing level 2, very nice. The claws is going to work really well for Yeti though, in order to keep the Farseer off of him.
A town is under siege.
It looks like Jedi is going to try to cancel this, maybe harass some of the wisps. And yeah, it looks like Yeti does keep them pretty much in the open and in his base. Oh, and he's actually bringing a Headhunter across, which can be risky if he hits level 2, but Jedi knows he has treants and knows that he can't easily hit level 2 just yet unless wolves are fed. He did feed 1 wolf, so he has to be a little careful. There was 20 XP going to the Keeper there. And
Under siege.
I'm not sure where Jedi is going to go next, if he's going to keep pressuring to try to keep getting level 2 prevented, or just creep. Okay, so he is just creeping. So he's conceded level 2 to Yeti, which means he does need to be careful with these headhunters now. Entangle is an easy way to punish any sort of harass here. And Jedi sees the level 2. He should back off. I don't think it's very good to have headhunters near the elf at this moment when there's 5 archers, treants, and entangle available. So yeah, he goes to continue creeping. He's got a nice sentry ward in the middle, which actually is pretty good to check on the keeper if the keeper runs across to try to harass. And we might see an expansion from the elf. We got a Wonders coming. He has a Hunter's Hall already, so he might be trying to set up a lore early. Okay. Or he just wants to get dual. He might set up another Ancient of War instead and get some Huntresses. But Huntresses are a little sketchy against this Headhunter play. And I think Yeti might have seen them. Yeah, the names are a little close. I definitely called Yeti Jedi for a second, so it's something. We get a gloves. This keeper's hitting pretty hard. The Farseer on the other side, kind of sketchy items. Sentry wards are pretty good. Very good at making sure the keeper does not catch his headhunters. But the ring and cloak, they can be good on the second hero, I guess. He is getting TC, so it will be helpful. He is a big fan of selling items, though. He does keep the ring. However, this is a big moment where the keeper is going to harass. And that may be a dead headhunter. Level 2 entangle. Pretty strong. So yeah, it looks like Yeti is not putting up any tier 2 buildings yet. And he goes with the Demon Hunter second. So Jedi knew this was a possibility. And I think the Demon Hunter kind of punishes the TC play. It makes it a lot harder to get multiple spells off with the TC. Had a nice hidden archer scout here. Demon Hunter comes in and gets a burn off, and now the TC is kind of low mana already. And I think he went wave, which, you know, you don't see all too often, but honestly it's still decent against archers because it makes it good for bursting down. And we got some weak heroes on Yeti's side. He has to be a little careful here. He does have a staff on the Demon Hunter, so this keeper can be a little aggressive, but he has to watch out for these level 2 wolves. Jedi really needs to get this lodge up a bit sooner, I think, because these headhunter losses are going to hurt in the long run.
A player's forces are under attack.
Almost level 2 on the Demon Hunter. The TC, however, is still only halfway to level 2. And the expansion is up for Yeti. So this is looking pretty good for the elf. I'm thinking Jedi's best chance is to get his tri-hero. Okay, so he did hit tier 3 pretty quickly. So he needs to get his tri-hero, Berserker upgrade, probably 2 Taurens, if possible. But that might take a while to get 2 Taurens and the Pulverize upgrade. And then he definitely needs a few Shaman. So he is getting multiple Shaman first, and then he'll go for Adept. So it will be quite a while still for Jedi's timing, which means this expansion is going to hurt. Because it's definitely going to pay off a bit. However, he
Forces are under attack.
might be able to have an okay fight still, just because of all the tech he's getting, because he teched straight to tier 3 pretty quick. The elf, however, has also teched tier 3 fairly quickly, especially for putting up an expansion. He's just now putting lores, and Yeti likes to go with the double lore. Getting this Overlord is huge for the elf. Looking for an aura, obviously. He gets Helm of Valor. Probably the best for Demon Hunter, but still not an aura item, so not ideal. And Jedi is actually moving in. And he might be able to do something here, because there's not too many archers. There are a couple mercs, but that also means he can't buy any more mercs, really, besides the ogre. So he goes with the 1 Tauren, 2 Shaman timing with Tri-Hero, and it's actually fairly effective. However, those detonates are going to hurt. He only has his Shadow Hunter with mana now, and 1 Purge left to save this Tauren. Yeti actually needs to somehow make it to his base, however. I think you really don't want to staff the Keeper and like leave the Demon Hunter here with like 200 health. But I think you kind of need to. He needs to use... Oh, he doesn't even have much Moonwells. He needs to use a Clarity or something. Because this is where Entangle can really punish the Orc. And so getting mana is his top priority. It's a little awkward to get to his base, but I think it needs to be done. Otherwise, this Orc army is actually too strong for him right now. And he is producing Mountain Giants right away.
A player's forces are under attack.
He is going to need... Okay, he does have another well coming up. And the Keeper dropped low from the Purge. Jedi looks like he's going to get this expansion. The Wisps are repairing quite well, though. If Yeti... Okay, yeah. I wasn't sure if Yeti would be able to hold off with repairing for a while and like come back with Clarity Keeper, but it looks like the expansion does fall, and I think that is actually quite a big win for the Orc right there. Because this Tri-Hero now is able to freely creep for a while, and Orc Tri-Hero is actually potentially one of the strongest Tri-Heroes in the game, in my opinion. At least Shadowhunter, TC, and then +1, whether it be Blade, whether it be Farseer, etc. Heal Wave, Endurance Aura, in this case Shockwave, sometimes Stomp. They're all insane for hero abilities once you can get them leveled up. Okay, so Jedi does push into upkeep. He's at 60 food. Got another burrow coming up, which will be really nice to pop another Tauren, as well as probably +1 Shaman and +1 Zerker. And that's a really nice front line with 3 Tauren and a TC. He doesn't have... okay, so he does do the Tauren. He doesn't have Orb yet, or... Master Training on the Shamans yet. But I do think he's in a good spot. Yeti, on the other hand, has his Priestess out now. Level 2 already with Owl Scout. He should move it away because there's no Blade Master. And we got up engagement here. However, Yeti will probably have to disengage because his Demon Hunter is quite weak. I do not think Jedi should chase too much, maybe? Maybe it's fine. I guess Yeti can't really turn here effectively. Sorry if my camera work is a bit mediocre. Yeah, Taurens are definitely pretty good against mountain giants. For the elf side, however, the archer damage, once you have marksmanship and he has 2 damage upgrades already, the Tauren can actually still melt fairly quickly. Jedi does do the smart thing of getting armor upgrades though, which will benefit both his Zerkers and Tauren. It would be nice to see a second armor upgrade, especially because he's sitting at 70 food now. The only thing he can do is, realistically do, is get an upgrade or buy heal scrolls or invuln potion. Mana potion would also be nice, but he has to get to his base for that. But yeah, Tauren are definitely good against mountain giants, but oftentimes mountain giants can actually tank long enough for the archers to focus the Taurens down. But that's where, ooh, that is really bad. His Tauren got caught out there. Bit of bad pathing where it went down the bottom path. And we do get an engagement here, but this fight is a little sketchy since the TC has no mana at all. And the mountain giants are effectively blocking. We do get 1 Tauren in the back. Okay, chain coming in. And the problem with Yeti right now is he hasn't been able to afford things like heal scroll. However, Jedi probably needs to disengage before his TC ends up dying. I think a teleport sooner rather than later would be pretty good. However, this Tauren's gonna die, and he might lose the other Tauren if his TP comes too late. Maybe he can actually just fight this. He gets the Demon Hunter, and the front line of Mountain Giants is actually dropping. He does indeed lose the TC though, but I think he decided to lose it because the TC had the TP, he passed it to it. So yeah, he just decides to fight and take the losses, and it looks like it's going to work out for him. His army is actually strong enough to fight through those losses of the TC and the couple Taurens.
A player's forces are under attack.
And Yeti has to back off. The base is pretty hard to push into for the Orc though, with the 2 lowers up front, a bunch of wells on the side. It's actually really awkward. I think he might have to TP now though. Oh, he does escape. Mountain Giant's dropping low. I think he'll be able to get this one. TC does still have the TP in case of focus on him. So Jedi can stay here. And if he gets the kill on the Keeper here, we might see Yeti actually GGing out of this one. Does get the return kill on the TC, but his Moonwells are pretty dry and his force is looking quite weak right now. Shadowhunter level 3 is also insanely strong. However, not much mana right now, but if Jedi ever has to back off, that will be one of the first things he does. We are seeing the base layout coming into play a bit, seeing that it's a bit hard for Jedi to really push in. Demon Hunter is back. He has the orb and multiple agility items, so he hits pretty hard. Jedi does back off finally, and this is actually becoming quite a match where both sides are losing a lot. Generally, I like that for the elf side because I feel like it's pretty easy to replenish archers, and the orbs of venom do quite well in these small armies. But with the tri-hero and the tech from the orc side, it's actually quite sketchy for the elf still. Okay, and Jedi is potentially going to expand. He doesn't actually have the tiny Great Hall though, but I would like to see an expansion, especially because he has 1500 wood. Yeti, on the other hand, feels quite cramped in his base. He does have an owl, finally using it, and that'll allow him to maybe move out a bit, but there's not really much for him to creep either. Okay, so he finally got a bit more mana on his TC and Shadowhunter. That'll help a lot as long as Yeti is not able to detonate too much on them. But now they're kind of just chilling and replenishing their forces. So this is something I see Jedi do quite often. Even though he's tier 3, he still sets up just the cheaper expansion. But I really feel like you should go for the Tiny Great Hall instead. The quickness for how soon it comes up pays for itself quite quickly. So if he just waited to like around now, he would have had enough to afford the Tiny Great Hall, and he could have put it up, and the Tiny Great Hall would be finishing in like 10 or 15 seconds from now. And I think that would have helped him a lot more than what he's currently doing. But he is getting an expansion up regardless, so it's still okay. I just think it could have been done more effectively. Yeti, on the other hand, sitting at 58 food, threw in a couple dryads, and he has 1 armor upgrade for these MGs, 3 damage upgrades for the archers. However, his archer count is actually not that high. He only has 6 right now. You'd really like to see 1 or 2 more MGs instead of like these dryads, and then probably like 3 more archers. So Jedi's army looks quite large in comparison. These 3 Taurens up front are going to be really hard to deal with when he only has 1 MG, no roar or bear, and a level 5 Farseer and 4 TC. It's going to be a rough fight for Yeti. We got a Hex coming out on the Priestess. A little bit of a block, but Staff comes in. And Jedi knows there's no expansion, so that's good for him. Uses the crystal ball, then sells it. I would like to see mana potions, like a mana potion on maybe both Shadowhunter and TC, as well as a clarity on the Shadowhunter. Orb of Lightning would be okay, but I think the mana potions are the crucial thing. However, I think he's going to be fine here regardless. His force is quite strong. Yeti's going to really have to kite well with Orb of Venom if he wants to have a chance in this fight. And ideally, he would detonate a lot of wisps. He should probably bring all 5 of them, even though he really wants to. Well, maybe not all 5. Honestly, if he wants to win, he has to save probably 1 or 2 of those so that he can start mining right away, since he only has 68 gold. But he definitely needs to detonate probably at least 4 of those. Otherwise, this fight is going to be extremely difficult for him. He does, however, have his trees coming, but there is no Nature's Blessing. These are 2 armor trees, and they are moving slow, which means there's a long timing for Jedi to get up to his 80 food army, possibly throw in a second armor upgrade or a damage upgrade for the Berserkers. We'll see if he decides to do that. He does go for the second armor upgrade. Very nice. And then, as I said before, the only other thing I'd really like him to get is mana potions. I think he's underutilizing that, especially against a demon hunter from the elf side. But he has 5/4/4 heroes, and we got an engagement going. Jedi caught a little off guard, but his force is strong. protection scroll coming out from Yeti. And the wave and chain coming through, just slaughtering those archers. However, we got this focus fire on the TC, drops weak early. He does have an invuln, and there are still 2 heal scrolls left, as well as a salve. But the TC is stuck up front and will possibly go down. Now he manages to break out. Torn going down, but these mountain giants are extremely weak and going to die soon. Hex coming out on the Demon Hunter, and can he get him? No, manages to invuln, reaches the Moonwells, but the Keeper also gets out with the staff. Mountain Giant still weak here. Hex coming out on the Demon Hunter again. Chain gets the kill, but TC also dies in return. Another bloodbath when it comes to heroes. That TC ending up as the fodder every time. However, we still got level 5 and level 4 Farseer and Shadowhunter. Yeti's main way to come back here is to probably get an entangle off on either a hero to focus it down, or picking off some of these torrents, since the shamans are actually low on mana right now. And he never managed to get master training, which is quite weird. Still not coming out either. And we have some wisps coming out to burn the last bit of mana. There's not much left to begin with. He would have actually liked to keep a couple of those wisps for his gold mine, because he doesn't actually have any over there. There's literally 1 wisp on this expansion right now. And even with a 58 to 28 supply advantage for Jedi, he feels the need to back off because of the mana on the Keeper and the 2 level 5 heroes with Orb of Venom. They are extremely potent, and if you can't lock them down with mana on your own heroes, it can be quite scary, because your units will die and your heroes will die quite fast. We got a tower coming out. Not sure if it's necessary. I don't think Yeti's going to really make it over there anytime soon, but it can be a nice preventive measure. TC going to be back soon. I would like to see maybe 1 more shaman as well as master training. I'm unsure of if he just kind of forgot or what. And we got clarities coming out. Does he go for a mana potion this time? Still no mana potion. Actually no clarity on the TC either, so he's only going to have 1 shockwave. Demon Hunter only just now starting. Mountain Giant can't even get healed. So that was the problem with Yeti detonating all those wisps. It took him a long time to build a full 5 wisps in his gold mine. And we got another fight coming out. However, Jedi should be comfortably ahead this time, and I think we are going to see Yeti tap out quite soon. He might be able to get a hero kill, but yeah, these archers just do not have any tanks up front anymore. There goes the Keeper, and there goes the GG. Solid match. Maybe a couple things that could have been done better, but I think they generally both played their style, and Jedi came out with the win. Alright, let's open up this little player card I set up. You know, nothing fancy, but we got both players from the US, and these are their Season 2 stats from W3 Champions. How Yeti does actually have quite a record for this season as well. And but from last season, Jedi managed to be in Diamond 1. I know he was on the cusp at Master at points, and Yeti was actually just in Master Division. They're both in the 1600s MMR, so quite close. I don't know all that much about Yeti. I haven't played him that much myself, but I know he is one of the players that plays a ton, and he actually has like 100 games already this season, and it's only been out for like a week. And then Jedi got the little sip from the Fountain of Manor. He's my clan mate, which that's our clan, and you know, he's my bro from Vegas, and I've been playing with him since like 2005, maybe. It's been a long time. So we see from that last match, definitely showing that it's quite a close matchup between the two. We'll see if Yeti will be able to turn it around this time. Our map 2 is actually going to be Twisted Meadows, which I think is generally considered an elf map. I'm not particularly sure what it's considered in this matchup, but elf has a lot of options in terms of expanding, hit and runs, and Ancient of War creeping is very effective on here. However, Blade Master can definitely creep jack quite well if he finds the elf early on. You can usually take out at least the big creep from the middle camps with the elf if you focus on that with your Ancient of War, but otherwise it can be punished slightly by the orc. And it looks like they're ready, so jump into it and see how they decide to play this game. Okay, so Jedi gets this camp, or the top left spawn, which means if he wants, he can go for the lab creep. I do not think he will, because knowing him, he actually has not practiced this map all that much. I believe he thought Yeti might veto it, and it ended up not vetoed. So he's kind of stuck with it now. Yeti, on the other hand, looks fairly standard. No tavern shenanigans. And I think this Wisp is going to go to the Knolls? No, he's going to go to the gold mine. Which... Or is he actually just scouting? There's no way he goes for the Merc camp here, right? He actually just scouts really early. So I guess his goal is to harass the orc, probably? So I would assume that's why such an early scout, but that is definitely a really early scout. Usually you would scout with like this Wisp here. However, for Yeti, he gets it to pay off a little by finding the orc right away. Jedi going with Farseer actually, and he goes with the Headhunter opening. I was expecting Blade Master from Jedi, but we'll see how this goes. Since he saw the Wisp that early, he should know the elf is up here, and he has a scout as well, so should be nice. However, he's going to also see that Yeti is going straight into Huntresses rather than creeping the shop or a gold mine or the Knolls. And I'm wondering if this is because he didn't get the Merc camp spawns. If Yeti was top left or bottom right, maybe he would have put an Ancient of War like here, gone for the Merc camp, because getting something like the Troll Shadow Priest can be extremely good against something like the Farseer, and we do in fact have a Farseer from Jedi. So he's going to look to harass. Yeti continues to not block off the wisps. He does have a small block here, but the wolves will be able to sneak through anyways. And this harass could be quite good for Jedi. He gets one detonate already. He can easily cancel this will if he wants, which is a bit costly for Yeti. And should see a resummon here in a sec. Be careful to not be too close to any wisps. Okay, so Yeti does go with the entangle first so that he can actually deal with this. Should actually run that headhunter away because he's seen entangle. You do not want to get your first headhunter entangled for free like that, because otherwise these huntresses coming out can easily overwhelm you. He should run his Farseer to block, and we do see the entangle coming out, so that's going to be a big hit. That's -1 headhunter, and another one's coming in, and he really needs to get that out quite soon. I guess he doesn't have to be too worried yet because it's only a level 1 entangle. So we got 40 experience for the keeper so far. But Yeti's focus is just getting his huntresses out and then controlling the map from there. Not sure if he'll AP push or if he'll expand, but we'll see what he decides later. Jedi going for the creep camp steal. He has a headhunter coming out again, so he really needs to be careful with these because the next couple entangles on those can hurt a lot. If you get too many headhunters killed early, huntresses can easily overwhelm you, and you will likely see an AP push coming should that happen. Nice block coming out from Yeti. This, however, is fine here, but we might see Yeti like camp the huntresses on each side hidden so that Jedi can't move out of his base without being spotted. See what he does. I'm actually not even sure where he got 80 XP from. I guess he got 2 wolves. Jedi must have fed them to him when he was running away over there. Another detonate coming out. Quite costly for the detonate so far. He's actually pretty low on wood for a huntress build. Usually you build up quite a lot of wood for this tier 1 build, which allows you to set up an expansion right away or AP push with all your extra wisps and wood that you have, but Yeti does not have that. And we got a fight coming out. Jedi a little bit out of his base, out of range of the burrow, and one headhunter gets entangled. Another one will likely get entangled here, but now we are in burrow range. However, okay, he does switch the focus to the huntress. However, that's 2 quick headhunters down, no return kills. The huntresses do get weakened quite a bit, but he has 3 moonwells that are fairly untouched so far. Oh yeah, I could put the score somewhere, huh? That's something I didn't really think about. First time best of 3 caster, lol. Jedi gets caught out again, and this is very costly. That is like 5 headhunters, I think, that have gone down so far. And we have a level 2 keeper already. And all Jedi's got accomplished was 1 small green camp, which I don't think it was even finished.
Forces are under attack.
He only got like 3 of the 4 creeps from it. Double level 1 heroes. Jedi just has to camp so far. We'll see if Yeti... Okay, so Yeti goes for the tech. I'm not sure what he's planning to tech into. Maybe it'll be tech and then he'll get an expansion as well, alongside like Moonglaves and a second hero. And his goal will be to kill the shop here and then the burrows and just sort of keep Jedi from reaching anywhere on his side of the map. Oh wait, I didn't even see this. There's actually a tree already up down here. So he is expanding, and he is going for the expansion on a faraway location, which will likely not be scouted for quite a long time. Jedi seeing the tier 2 tech coming up as well will probably not expect this right away. Like he'll likely check here, and when he doesn't see it, I doubt he'll expect an expansion down here. So this is actually looking quite good for Yeti so far. Much better than the first game. The first game definitely looked okay for Yeti at the start, but it quickly went downhill when he didn't get his force up before the push game. But this game is going to be really hard for Jedi to find a good timing, because Yeti will likely do some hit and runs and just continually build up a strong force. We might see him convert into mountain giants plus archers with marksmanship, or I mean, I don't know. We'll see what he does. And he hits level 3 already. That entangle is going to be quite strong if there's no shamans around. Maybe he'll even go Treants instead. Treants might be better if he's planning to hit and run. Okay, we got Wonders coming. No quick tech to tier 3. We might see... Okay, so he does go tier 3 now. So... And he does get the Moonglaves. I assume the tier 3 is so that he can start mixing in mountain giants. Plus marksmanship. Ooh, this run by is actually quite bad for the elf. The huntresses actually will be able to do an okay amount of damage to these headhunters. That actually went better for Yeti than I was expecting. Mostly because the headhunters were all clumped up for the glaives. And I think his glaive upgrade had finished. The TP was very smart from Yeti. If he had tried to continue fighting or like run out, I think it would have looked much messier. We would have seen a bunch of huntresses die, and the orc getting his levels up can be quite good at defending this. However, Yeti just gets another TP and comes immediately back across. We do have reinforced defenses now though, so it's going to be harder for Yeti to do effective pushes. He will likely have to go for the main or the shop or both. Jedi a little bit down on food count and is unaware of this expansion thus far. So it is looking quite strong for our Night Elf player. Jedi also does not have a teleport. So Yeti coming in again. However, with Berserker upgrade finished, these huntresses will melt quite quickly if he sticks around. Yet he does smartly back off. He might lose one huntress. Yeah, one huntress down. Level 3 TC. He did go Shockwave, I believe, again. So we got level 2 Shockwave coming out. And we have Bloodlust already this time. So he noticed his mistake from the first game of not getting Master Training, and this time he has it extremely early. I'm not sure if he really wanted to cast Bloodlust there. It probably just finished the research and was on autocast. Generally, you want to wait till you're taking a full-on fight, and until then you save your mana so that you can purge Entangles and Treants. Okay, so Yeti's goal is to get mountain giants. He is going to need some more wood wisps because
Town is under siege.
these upgrades cost quite a lot, and he currently does not have. Okay, he has like 5 down at his expansion, so maybe that's okay. These peons dropping quick, but Huntress is also dropping quick. However, no true sight. And that is going to hurt. That's like 4 peons down. And Jedi does not have much wood either. It looks like he's going to go for the push. So his thoughts are, I suffered too many losses to my wood economy. I just want to try to take a good fight with the Bloodlust and end it so that I don't have to actually continue this match longer and rebuild. But I do not think this is going to work because Yeti has an Orb of Venom coming out, he has multiple MGs coming out, and he has a bunch of archers producing. The Huntresses will die quite quick, so Yeti's forces are definitely small, but over time this Orb of Venom is going to do a lot of work, and Mountain Giants have resistant skin, so he can definitely tank quite a bit with the MG while Keeper keeps laying down the poison on all the headhunters. Yeti should be a little careful from moving too far out though, because these Huntresses will die if he goes too far. Okay, Jedi's realizing that this fight is a bit hard. He might also realize there's an expansion because we got 2 lores, 2 AOWs, and just the fact that Elf tends to expand on Twisted Meadows.
Players' forces are under attack.
We'll see if he tries to scout it with wolves. Nice purge coming out here on the Entangle. No upgrades from either side so far on damage or armor, and we don't have marksmanship either. However, we will likely see marksmanship soon. Yeah, marksmanship coming soon. A little skirmish taking place, but I think it's just Yeti trying to get some hits off with Entangle and Orb of Venom. He doesn't want to take a committed fight. Maybe should be a little careful with these archers, because if we get another wave coming out soon,
Players' forces are under attack.
or chain, those archers will die quite quickly. And we have Orb of Lightning as well, so MGs can end up getting purged. Tauren finally here. That'll be very nice at actually taking the fights. And yeah, Yeti's just going to produce up to 80 food of MG's archers. And I don't think Jedi is going to be able to keep up because
Players' forces are under
he had to reproduce like probably 4 or so peons for wood. He also is not on an expansion, whereas Yeti has been for quite a while. He has already mined 3,800 gold, which is quite a lot. It did come at the cost of quite a few, tier 1 Huntresses, and he lost a few archers and stuff, but
Players' forces are under
the
attack.
expansion has definitely paid off quite a bit. Yeti actually TPs from here. I think he could have just bought a Zeppelin instead and gone over the trees, but this is fine. However, the shockwave hits quite hard at this positioning. No chain lightning though, because his mana is too low. And the alchemist drops low quickly and falls. That is going to hurt the elf army. Now it's going to be all up to the keeper with Orb of Venom, and then the MGs to tank. Do we have purge? We do still have purge coming out. He nicely purges the Tauren, but even these Tauren are dying quite quickly to the MGs plus archers. Theoretically, Tauren should counter the MGs, but it takes quite a long time to actually kill MGs because of resistant skin, even with Tauren. And Jedi is forced to back off a bit. Ooh, watch out for getting caught here from the taunts. This Shadow Hunter might drop, although he does have another heal wave. Very nice. Shockwave coming out. Only really hitting the MGs though, which are not the ideal target. Level 4 TC. Got that level 2 aura coming in. And these MG kills. We have actually no Moonwells, and the Keeper is stuck and gets the chain. Jedi actually pulls out the win. Wow. I honestly thought Yeti was in quite a good position there for a long time. As you can see here, he had 3k more gold even with like the upkeep. But just a couple shockwaves and chains were enough to kill quite a few of those archers. Maybe Yeti was a little too aggressive at certain points, especially on his TP there at the end. He could have very well been in a slightly better position there, whereas his archers instead were quite up front. And yeah, Jedi pulls out the win. Overall, actually quite a nice match though. The games were pretty close. The elf managed to get an expansion both games. The first game, the expansion didn't really pay off. The timing came too soon with the tri-hero from the orc, and so Yeti got a bit punished from that. But the second game, the expansion definitely paid off. It just didn't really Yeti didn't get the positioning proper in all the fights, especially that last fight where he teleported in. I think if he had bought a Zeppelin and just got, flew that over the trees into the back of his base, or if he had initially just teleported towards the back of his base, maybe he could have taken a better fight where his archers weren't all clumped up in the front getting shockwaved. But yeah, solid play from Jedi, coming out with the Headhunter Shaman Tauren strategy, which I think is quite strong against what the current Night Elves are doing. The key for Night Elf to win that matchup is typically going to be to get an expansion like Yeti did in that second game and have it pay off enough where you can get some sort of 80 food against 60 food fight. That's where you really want to be as elf, because even with bloodlusted Taurens and headhunters, it's extremely hard to fight through an elf army that has that much food with that much damage from the marksmanship archers behind the MGs. Yeti just didn't manage to get there and fell to the level 2 shockwave. The archers fell quite fast there in that last fight and just got overwhelmed from the numbers of the orc side. Maybe a little more patience from the elf side with just getting hits off simply with the Orb of Venom could have helped quite a bit. But yeah, otherwise quite close overall. And yeah, that was all the games I had set up to cast. Hopefully I didn't do too terrible. I'm not exactly experienced as a caster and not exactly experienced as a graphic designer overlayer. I know I got this basic setup, but it does the job, I guess. And hopefully we get to see some more exciting matches from the rest of the washed up league as well. Maybe some of the other streamed matches that don't get get their spotlight this week will be streamed from some others. Not sure. Oh yeah, could look at the player cards again. So this was their season 2 stats, and you know, it ended up being quite close as expected. Jedi does take it in 2-0, but the matches were quite close and definitely could have gone either way, especially with especially that second game with Yeti getting the expansion as he did. It, you know, just a little caught out at times, a little too many losses on his archers at times. But if those were resolved, it very well could have gone the other way and we could have seen a third map.